I will explain the Israel-Palestine War before 1948. The land was called Palestine and was home to a majority Arab population under British control. As Zionist immigration increased, tensions grew, especially as Jewish settlers began buying up land and displacing Palestinians. In 1947, the United Nations proposed to split the land, giving 55% to a Jewish state. Even though Jews were only 1/3 of the population and owned less than 10% of the land, Palestinians and neighboring Arab countries rejected the plan as unfair, but Zionist forces moved to seize even more land. In 1948, Israel declared independence, and during the war that followed, over 750,000 Palestinians were violently expelled or fled in fear, and more than 400 villages were destroyed. This is known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Israel ended up controlling 78% of historic Palestine. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights land it still holds, despite international law calling it illegal. Since then, Israel has built hundreds of illegal settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, transferring over 700,000 Jewish settlers into occupied territory, which is a war crime under the Fourth Geneva Convention. Gaza has been under a crippling air, land, and sea blockade since 2007, turning it into what human rights groups describe as the world's largest open-air prison. Israel controls borders, resources, electricity, and even who can leave for medical treatment. Major organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and even Israeli groups like B'Tselem have said Israel is committing apartheid, enforcing two separate systems of law and movement for Palestinians and Jewish settlers. In October 2023, after Hamas launched a retaliation attack, killing around 1,200 Israelis and taking hostages, Israel responded with a full-scale assault on Gaza. Since then, over 56,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of them women and children. Entire families, hospitals, refugee camps, and schools have been bombed. UN officials, legal experts, and genocide scholars have warned that Israel's actions could meet the legal definition of genocide, including mass killing, forced starvation, and destruction of civilian infrastructure. This is not a war between equals. Israel is a nuclear-armed state with one of the most powerful militaries in the world.